Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Cadence Radio. My name's Uma. Hope you guys are having a happy Friday the 13th. All I gotta say is rest in peace to one of my favorite artists of all time, Mr. Tupac Shakur. Passed away about 23 years ago. Just a little story there. I remember when he did pass, me and my boy Kev Stewart, we were watching the news intently. Thought they said that they had some updates on it. Well, I was watching the news, and then I was keeping tabs on my other boy. He was watching too. They said he just got out of surgery, was put in a medical induced coma, had a lung removed, and then basically that afternoon he passed. I remember it was Friday the 13th, by the way, and I called my boy saying, "Hey man, let's go out, do something." Somber day, and that day was the weirdest night. We ended up walking the block from Castridge all the way to Rundle. We stopped over at Prairie Winds. This is one of our places there. That's in the northeast. By the way, I'm talking about Calgary, Alberta. So whoever is familiar with Prairie Winds, you know what I'm talking about. Then there was a flock of rabbits just came out of nowhere. About 50,000 rabbits. It was not 50,000, but a lot of rabbits. A flock of them just came up, just ran right across the field. My boy's like, okay, yeah, that's weird. But of course, Friday the 13th, stuff happens on Friday the 13th, which you never guess. So we ended up walking and went to meet up with a couple of ladies, which we met. All the summers we wanted to party with them for a little bit. But they had to sneak out of their house, I remember. So me and Kev chilled with them for a bit. And we just kept on walking. They walked with us too. We kept on walking down 52nd Street all the way down to Rundle, Pine Ridge. And then we started our way back. So, and all of a sudden, we seen a truck, two vehicles speeding. They were racing each other right down the street. And basically, it was a great race. This truck, I don't know how many horsepower it had. It had a lot of horsepower, but they were going real quick, real fast, probably 120 down a 60 kilometer road, 120. So they were doubling that speed. We didn't think never mind of it, so we kept on walking. So we're heading home now, and all of a sudden, we seen one of our friends' cars just pull up, and they're like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" We're looking. One of our friends, his car, no, he wasn't even in it. So someone was just driving his car around, and they're like, "Oh no, we took his car out. We found his keys. They said that he was passed out because they were at a party or something like that. They just took off." So next day, that's when the real shit happens. The next day, all the events came to pass. Basically, the dude who was driving on the 52nd that time they were racing got in an accident. I think he died. He got in an accident. He passed. And then my other friend who had his car, he was passed out at some party, which basically we heard on the news that this lady was at the same party and she jumped off a bridge that night. So, oh yeah, it was a weird one, but we just remember that, and exactly when Pac passed, and then these other people were passing too. It was it was eerie. It was an eerie night. But what I have to say is rest in peace. No, still listen to your music. And I'm telling this, in the next 25 years, on his 25th anniversary, I have a feeling that they'll bring out an album, tribute album, and he'll probably have 7 new songs on there. 25 years from now, because the guy was a workhorse. He had great work ethic, and he spoke truth. And he was gone. He died too early. But maybe that was a blessing in disguise. But you never know. I don't know what he'll be doing at this time. He'll be about 50 years old, 48. Don't know what he would be doing, but what he did in those 25 years, I don't think most people can do in a lifetime. So rest in peace to one of the greatest, and we'll celebrate with you with a drink. And after this podcast, I'll pretty much be bumping his songs. So all in all, it's been a hectic, not a hectic week. I don't think it's been hectic. Shootings kind of went down and stuff. But we're in election cycle in Canada, and hopefully we do get somebody who is for the people. But all in all, I've been sitting here about politicians. All of them are the same. They preach, they promise all this stuff, but when they get in there, it's basically a job. Get a raise, take the money, get your pension, get out, sign papers, which were already made for the system. So I don't have any faith in them. I have no faith in them. I have faith in the people. I have faith in the people, but I don't think we should be sheep going around voting for somebody who promises all this and doesn't deliver. It's sickening, by the way, and I think that government should not actually exist, really. I don't think they should exist. I don't think people should be governed. I think people can govern themselves. Like I said in my recent podcast, people can govern themselves. You just basically write some rules. Get a majority, get all the people to agree on them. And basically the rules are set in stone. You should not kill people, first and foremost. You should not steal from people. You should treat people fairly. And you should help out as much as you can and help the less fortunate. And basically pass it back. Pay it forward. Do whatever you got. If you're in that position to do that, you should be what's it called? Practicing that. And and that's what I think. I don't think we should be paying salaries. I think most of that salary for government paid taxes and all that should be going to the people and should be helping out everybody across the country and literally helping other people across the world too, but not to just give to charity, give money, but help them establish their country as you establish yours. That's what that's what for more advanced countries should be doing. I think that is the law of the universe. The more fortunate ones, the more advanced people and more advanced civilizations should be coming down and practicing and teaching the people who are less fortunate, to get them to that level so they can take care of themselves. I know it has happened before in history. The Egyptians, Mayans, the Moors. The Moors, if you know about the Moors, everybody thinks that they went in and conquered. Of course, to have peace, you probably have to have a little bit of war. So I know there were some warring factions, but there was actually great teachings like mathematics, English, all that stuff. And and construction and geometry. Geometry is probably one of the biggest secrets of all time. And all those formulas, usually if you know some of those formulas for geometry and stuff, most of it is to build what you see of these buildings across the world, or the more advanced worlds, or even the less advanced worlds. There were civilizations who built those those monuments or the buildings we see now. But that's what I think it should be. I don't think there should be people with elections govern these people that come in to steal your money. You know how much money these guys accrue? It's the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time, and we still fall for it year after year after year after year. It is ridiculous, and I think people are waking up to the fact that this is just a gong show. It's a circus. It's ridiculous. You know, the rallies, the debates, it's all for show. And I got a feeling that the debates I was watching, the Democratic debate, actually I didn't watch it. I was just seeing some highlights. And the stuff that we're spewing, Mr. Beto's talking about taking people's guns, you know, coming to people forcibly taken, like, and people are clapping about that. I think most of these people are paid to be there. Like, the audience are paid to be there. I think there's something in the back, you know how those game shows have, where people sit there and then the applause meter comes up, oh, applause, and then people are like, oh yeah, and they start clapping and stuff. I think that's basically what the debates are too, you know. And you could tell because lots of those comments and the rah speeches were just flat on the face. These people have no charisma. It is just dry as a freaking grandmother's vagina. It's not authentic, man. You know, it's authentic. As much as you hate Mr. Trump, the dude's authentic, man. The dude comes up, he sticks to his points, you know, and the best thing, he goes off script and he tells it like it is, man, you know, and people resonate to that. But these other guys with their talking points and stuff, and it's always the same exact debate. What are you going to do with healthcare? It's about abortion, and now it's about immigration, borders, but it's been like that ever since. They always throw something in. And Mr. Biden saying that, oh, if you elect me president, I'm going to cure cancer. The dude's been in government for 50 freaking years. And now he decides that he's going to cure cancer if he wants to become president. And sorry to say, man, it's ridiculous. It is, you know, it's boring to watch, you know. But it's a show. Every 2 years, there's midterms. The second year after that, it's a presidential race. 2 years after that's the midterms. It keeps on going. It's a whole new cycle. What you got to do with the people here, you got to break the cycle. You got to get rid of the governments. That's it. We got to get rid of them all, you know, because what happens in the long run is you don't vote anymore. I don't think your vote counts for nothing. I think these people have been picked. They've been picked way before this happens. Trump was an anomaly, but all through the world, you know, Vladimir Putin, the Egyptian, or whoever it is, all those guys, Merkel, Theresa May, those guys have been bred for this stuff, you know, because they just carry an agenda. That's all it is. They try to carry this agenda, which is basically get more control, get more money, and leave the people as pawns and serfs. You know, they're feeding off our energy, basically. We clap for jobs and plead for jobs where the jobs come. It's just throw you breadcrumbs, and then you sit here, you're watching 10, 12 hours, you're working and stuff like that for half the money to go back to those guys. What do they do with all that money? They ain't building no schools. They're not building any roads. They're not doing any of that. All they're doing is putting in a bank account, putting in a foundation. So then the next people, their family members, now they got a big head start. And then they'll do that cycle over and over again. Right? And like I said, we need to stop this government. We need to stop them. We need to just get rid of it and just have the rule of law come in where people can govern themselves. And I've been telling that, I've been thinking that, and that should be what it is. You don't understand. I can go a little bit more into the esoteric and into what these people have with all that energy we've been putting out, working 24/7. How your grandma used to work, your grandfather, your great 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 grandfather, they used to come up and work, and now we're working. All that money which has been made has gone to projects you never hear of, projects you're never gonna hear of. And these guys are probably, I would say, 300 years ahead of us, whoever they are. But it's these elite families who are like that. And they're not really elite. They just basically made this system, brainwashed us somehow for us to follow it. You know? I was listening to Mr. Phoenix Enigma. He's a very, 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 very intelligent guy. You know, he says he was an occultist, former occultist, and he made a great point. One of his points was this money thing. Like, this money is like a spell. It's basically you're waving something out of nothing and you're getting something in return. That piece of paper you have in your hand, that dollar bill, that's $10 bill, you can give it to somebody to give you something. So it's just like a magic spell, they said. That you're weaving stuff out of nothing. You're like an alchemist. But it all started too with you working, spending your energy into this thing. So this money has you by the grips because it's taking your energy. You guys check out my Money is a Magic Trick blog. It's on Discover Your Life. It's also on my website, cadenceradio.com. CANDANCE radio.com. And it puts it to a perspective. You know, we're stuck in something. You know, and something needs to be broken. You know, and he also made a good point. His name is Corey Daniel, by the way. He also made a good point about wealth. What is really wealth? Wealth is something you get from the earth. You know, your food, you know, your shelter, fire, like anything. Because earth gives back. You can basically chop something off, put something back into it, and it grows. That's a wealth because it will keep you going. And I think the people who really practiced that were there's lots of tribes in Africa, but there's also lots of Native Indians in America who used to practice that, and that was the truth. They were basically all for the land. They hunted when they had to hunt. You know, they built everything from it. You know, they didn't torch the land and take anything away. They just basically, the land gave them what they needed. And they lived a simple life and a great life, you know, disease-free, because they had all the herbs to help them out. You know, there's still lots of tribes who practice that. Huge in Australia, lots of those tribes. New Zealand, Africa is meant for those ones. There's some places you can't go in Africa and Brazil. They'll kill you because they know. They're like, don't come over here. We don't want your kind here, because they've seen what's happening, or they know what's happening. You know, these people are very in tune to the earth. You know, I'm not with that whole climate change thing. You know, because the earth does fix itself. I think climate and the weather, I think, is from how we're placed in the solar system, how the sun is and stuff. But what I'm really passionate about is what we're doing to pollute what's on the earth, like pollution, trash, throwing stuff in the ocean, all that stuff. That is pretty big. We are very, very wasteful people, and that needs to change. I know there's some places, some projects, some devices which can actually terraform the earth to what it is before, and there's also some huge technology where basically you use the earth's energy field to power yourself, power your house and all that stuff. It's out there. I might be, you guys think that I might be talking nonsense, but it is out there. That you don't have to drill and make something, get oil, refine it, put in a combustion into a car, and then whatever. There's gravitics. You can harness the earth's energy. That's thunder, lightning. You can harness all that, make water into energy. There's pyramid energy. There's a whole lot of energy this earth can provide. That magnetic field is very, very strong. Gravity is almost like that. It's a magnetic field. And I know that there are projects, there are technologies like that, and hopefully we can get it by the time we pass away. Or because I got kids, my friends have kids, and hopefully they can figure it out. And we need it. How we're going right now. There's an abundance of oil here. There is an abundance of oil. Oil does replenish. I think it's the earth is lifeblood. So there's something different. We got to take that next step. To use alternative stuff, and I'm not talking about wind or solar or anything like that. There's other stuff which kills on that. Those are good ideas to do it, but you can still have oil and stuff, but you need to throw out these alternative energies too. And I think the reason why these alternative energies haven't been introduced is because of the money they produce just a certain percentage of people. But I'll tell you this right now, if those energies were produced, you can light up your own house. You can have all the energy you need without you being on the grid, without you paying bills and stuff to basically live. So understand me, it's coming. Hopefully it's coming, but I'll stay optimistic for sure. But yeah, me and my rants. I'm gonna try to get a couple more people to rant with me. I have one dude. He's pretty cool. It's one of my wife's friend's husbands. He's actually on my next level, on the same level as I am. We might get a little bit deeper, but we will. I will have him here soon. He's a hop and skip away now, so can't wait for that. But we will do what we need to. But I really want to get people interested. Really want to get people to look inside themselves and see what you can do to make your life better, and also other people's lives better. Actually, other people's life better, because if everybody's eating, then everybody's happy. So I'm gonna sign out here. Happy Friday the 13th. Rest in peace, Pac. And of course, I just seen it. I have another dude. Rest in peace, Eddie Money. Rest in peace for everybody who has passed. God bless the dead. And Cadence Radio signing out. Peace.